Hello, good morning everyone, and I am Mr. Pini Mancao Jr., your Research 3 teacher. So today we will be talking all about the nature of research, unsa iyang meaning, iyang characteristics, and its importance. So for the whole quarter 1, our context standard will be you must be able to understand the nature of research and its processes, different standard rules in the conduct of research which are necessary in the preparation of the system of research documentation. Excuse me. So for your performance standard for quarter 1, we must be able to make a portfolio of abstract of researches in your field of interest. That's why I asked you last time all about your um, output. No, ay kanang interest niyo ba kung aha mo nag-interest sa some of you might take it kanang too shallow no uban kay kanang dili problem ilang gipang post dadto but anyways um maka-create ratag something new in our lesson 2. So for our learning competencies for the entire quarter 1, we must be explain the meaning, characteristics, and importance of research. So for this lesson, learning competencies number 1 lang unsa ta. Okay? So uh, kanang learning competencies 2 up to 9 unya na sila. No? Ato na siyang ma-discuss pohon ato na siyang paspasan. So the big question is why is there a need for research? Kamo, no? In your own home, anong kailangan mata mag-research? Maybe some of you will say nga, di man na magamit, ini-graduate na ako. No? Or some of you may say nga kanang, ato ning baton for compliance, no? Academic for compliance, which is a wrong notion for research. So, nganong kailangan man nato maghandak og research? So, ato na siyang mansiran in this lesson. So, do you remember the 2016 nga election, no? Presidential election, and makita gyud po na ninyo antod karon mga memes na lang, no? But let's talk about the 2016 nga halalan. The political ad spending per politician. Si Gijo Binay, no? Na siya 44 million, si Grace Po 103 million, no? Or as you could see, 331 ihan total. Si Maro has 157 million. Si Rodrigo Duterte, no? 110 million. Si Miriam Santiago, 0. Excuse me. Then si Cheese Escudero, na siya 236 million. Si Lenny, 225. Alan Peter Cayetano, 172. Dayon si Bongbong Marcos na siya 42 million. Dayon si Trillanes 38. O si Hunasan na siya 120,000 lamang. Okay? So kung ato na siyang i-sum up tanan nilang gikuan, gipanggasto, no? They spent about 1 billion pesos. No? Imagine how big that money was spent alone. Political ad spending pa lang yan. No? So what? And some of our citizens suffers the most. Tanawang ilang ipang servan nga mga katawhan. No? Mo nilang giserban nga katawhan pero ang ilang gigasto is 1.6 billion. Where did or what did they do? No? What if those monies are spent on something better for the good future of these kids, no? Like a scholarship, good homes, healthcare benefits, nana. How can our leaders help, man? No? So, um, how can our leaders help? They can help by improving our country through research and innovation. No? Just look at these the poor faces of Philippines, no? Family has nothing to eat, no proper shelter. There is a kanang child labor, no? Kay mapugos ang bata. O trabaho kay yung parents is kanang I don't know, we don't know the story, no? But Isa sa manifestation sa poor countries is that children are undergoing hard child labor. Then our economy is dropping down. Well, in fact, according to Asian Development Bank, Philippines is ranked number 25, no? Sa pinakapobre sa Asia. So, that data is kuan pa na siya sa 2010, no? But tanaw na to ang kuan karon, ang ato ang GDP mura man pud kanang ni increase na ta. But take a look of the poverty, no? The poor face of the Philippines. So, unsaon man nato pag raise ang ato ang kuan, ato ang country, no? Mabutang ta sa top, makaingon ta nga world class ang ato ang country, no? It's through research and innovation, no? So, have you ever seen kanang NSC, no? The National Steel Corporation in Iligan City kung padulong mo og CDO, no? So, in the previous years, ang atuang country, our country is the leading producer of steel in Southeast Asian countries, no? So, why, do you know why did the NSC go to bankruptcy? Because NSC is so confident in their products, no? Maybe they are not improving, maybe they are not researching for their steel products, no, until their competitors from other countries take over the competition and eventually lead to bankruptcy. So, nana ang possible nga kanang reason nga na bankrupt siya. It might be political and it might be sa ilaha internal, no? So what if they spent an ample amount for research ang NSC, no? Like na sila ibutang sa melted nga metal in order to make their steel nga ligon, no? Um, rust rust resistant siya, no? Or kanang kuan siya kanang dili siya kayo bugat but strong kayo, no? What if they devote their time for researching on ways to improve the quality of their products, no? Will we still be a leading steel manufacturer today? What do you think? So there is a great possibility, everyone. So let us look at the science expenditure in some countries. So when we say science expenditures, those are the budgets, no, spent sa tuwang government in terms of research, no, sa research, sa innovation, sa mga uban pa mga experimentations na. So ang Senegal, Sudan ug Uganda, no, this data was taken in 2008, no. So those countries compared nimo sa kining big countries like European Union, United States ug sa Japan, no? Kung imong tan-awon ilang research expenditure, kaning nasa blue is mas dako gyud kay siya og kanang science expenditure, no? The Japanese people, no, had spent a lot for their research. Then ang Senegal, Sudan ug Uganda is gamay ra kayo ang ilaha. But as you could see, kung imo lang imagine nun, kanang asa may mas kinang maunlad, no? Is it the blue ones or the red ones? Syempre, ang mas maunlad ang kaning nadari sa blue ones, no? So, can you see now the connection, no, of science expenditure, research, no, and sa economy sa usa ka country? Okay, I hope you do so. So, here's another data shows how many research and development personnel in Southeast Asian countries. So, which has more researchers and more aggressive? Asa man ang more aggressive? Siyempre, as you could see in the bar graph, excuse me for that, na ang Singapore, no? Sila ang pinakadaghan nga research personnels, no? Daghan sila researchers compared to our country. So, kinsa man ang mas more progressive compared ani kuan upat. Syempre ang Singapore. Syempre ang Singapore kay daghan kay sila og researches, no? So, what do you think can we compete? What do you think can we do to compete with these countries? No? So, atong buhaton. So, we will go back into our kanang main topic, which is research and innovation. So, there is a big relation in terms of kaning a country's economy and research. No? So, the Philippine Global Competitiveness Index, no, it states about these three kaning pillars. No? First is kaning three big mga topics. No? Basic requirements sub-index, efficiency enhancers sub-index, innovation and sophistication factors. So, deri mosulod ang big question. No? It is all about innovation, no? So innovation is the key for a key for innovation driven economies. Mo na siya ang isa sa 5 sa 12 pillars sa Global Competitiveness Index, no? Nagi diha sa pillar number 12 ang innovation. So, as you could see, no, ang ato ang global competitiveness gi-rank na siya from 1990 to 2012. The competitiveness of Philippines is from 1990 taas kayo ta, no? Kita ang leading kanang country not until year 2002 or 2003, no? Ka-level na nato ang mga developing Asian countries like Thailand, Singapore, uban pa mga Malaysia, Indonesia, no? And ang Philippines is parang stagnant lang, gagmay ra kayo ang iyang changes, no? Tanawon nimo ang ato ang per capita GDP. Gagmay ra kay tao mga increase, no? Whereas ang developing Asian countries, no, dagko kay sila og leap kung tanawon nimo siya dari ang iyang kaning slope, no, mas taas ang sa developing Asian countries. So we can see that for the year 1990 to 2000, we are quite competitive. Not until 2004, we did not incline. No, tani baba, but we are not climbing higher enough to rival other Asian countries like Korea. So speaking of Korea, no, we have here the Samsung. No, Samsung is the isa sa leading manufacturer sa mga kanang electronic devices. So back then, Samsung is just a normal trading company and their specialty is kanang pansit lang yun, no? Mo ni ilahang kaning store sa una, no? Ilahang kuan kani ka example ra niya nga picture, no? Pansit ra na ilaha. But now they lead in a smartphone industry and compete with Apple. So ponder how research and innovation affects a country's economy, no? From a simple pansit canton nga dealer ay kanang store owner, no? They become they hold 17% of the South Korean government nga kuan South Korean country nga GDP. You know, so think about what Samsung did, no? Na sila earbuds, oh, they have this kanang flip phones, na napud sila kanang solar powered classroom, na sila kanang flexible nga kanang kuan laptops. Yeah. So imagine if our country, no, also do or seryoso ta sa atong research and innovation. So there was this story now that I heard from my previous professors nga our countries back in the old times kay kita ang leading kanang rice exporter, no, sa tuang kuan sa in the whole Southeast Asian countries. Well, in fact, ang kanang Thailand, ang kanang Indonesia, Malaysia, guban pang countries mo ni sa tua para mag-study, no, how to propagate rice uban nga countries kay sa tua magkuha og rice for their own consumption. So, but as the time goes by, no, ang ato ang country manggod is wala nagseryoso for research and innovation ba, but what they are focusing on is their political ambitions, and it's a sad truth, no, kay mao po na at mao mo gid nato ang government. So just kuan lang kanang step down from the topic, no, nga we should be wise in our kaning political choice, no, we should be wise in terms of kuan by simple ra gyud nga research, no, about their backgrounds na then also um, take a look pod ang kining importance of research and innovation dili lang for academic purposes only, no, but take a good look on a bigger picture, no? What if all of the Filipino citizens, no, kanang mag-enjoy anang research and innovation nga endeavor, no? So going back to our topic, so compare nimo ang Netflix ug ang Blockbuster, no? Ang Netflix, they sell their kuan movies online, then ang Blockbuster is naka-CD pagyapon sila. So, Blockbuster was kuan replaced by Netflix as time goes by because mga tao di naman kailangan og kanang CD tapes for movies, no? So, how about Sirius FM, no? Ay Sirius XM for music for business versus Tower Records, no? So, ang Tower Records na lisensya og kanang na overpower or something ina to nga napildi siya sa Sirius XM. Ang Tesla gina nag-engage Tesla Incorporated engages in the designing, development, manufacturing, and sale of electric vehicles and electric powertrain components. The company also manufactures home batteries and solar roofs. No? So, mo na sila ang mga businesses nga kung i-compare nimo asa gyud mas labaw. So, in terms of kining popularity, mas famous ang Tesla, no, na overpower niya ang General Motors, no. Gikan ang General Motors is kanang they go on the basic ra pud nga kanang kuano internal combustion nga mga engines dayon ilang design is dili kayo pang modern ba, no. Take a look kung makita nyo dari, no, simple ra kay design sa lang masakyanan, whereas ang Tesla is naa sila kanang something new, no? Innovation sa ilahang design. In terms of kining development, no? Ang Tesla is having their electric power motors which is much more kanang cheaper in terms of its fuel kay charge ra gud sa balay, no? Where compared to the petrol powered yung mga cars. Then ilang manufacturing, in terms of manufacturing, which is much more faster according to what I have searched lang, no? So Tesla manufactures much more electric cars is easier to manufacture than kuan than the internal combustion ng mga cars. So the big question is how to avoid mentioned failure, no? Katong mga bankruptcy sa Blockbuster, sa Tower Radio ug unsa to ug sa General Motors, no? How to avoid that one? So the first question must be, how will we innovate? So, how will we innovate sa tuang level, no? So, as a student, we will start it with science investigatory project. So, magsugod sa ta sa pinaka simple una, no, before ta mo engage sa itong mga formal na gid nga mga researches. So a science investigatory project uses a scientific method. So I know you have encountered already the scientific method during your grade 7, no? Scientific method to study and test an idea about how something works. Just a simple nga lang yun nga kanang mga ideas lang yun. Like for example katong naadaog sa kaning kuan sa national nga showcase or sa science fair, no? Nag-create siya og algorithm para ma-predict nimo ang kaning gender sa eagle, no? Is it will be a male or will it be a female sa tuang school, no? Nindot kay sa tuang school na naghimo og kanang alternate nga kanang meat tenderizer, no? By the use of papain, kanang enzyme nga makita nimo sa papaya, no? Alternate siya nga kanang meat tenderizer which is much more cheaper and much more ay kanang the same ra og effect compared to the commercial one. So nanaragod ang mga simple nga ideas, no? Ang lang big question nato is what's the alternative for meat tenderizer? Nanara, no? Uban kay basta daghan pa tag researches nga naa sa ato ang school. I hope I could share it with you, no? As kay para pod kanang ma-inspire ta mo. So SIP involves researching a topic, no? Mag-research mo og topic, then mag-formulate mo og working theory or hypothesis that can be tested, then mag-conduct mo og research, then you will record your result, and then you will report or present your result. Ana ra gyud ana to ang basic nga kaning flow, no? Atong balikon, mag-research ta og topic, mag-formulate ta og working theory, then mag-conduct ang experiment, dayon mag-record, ato lang i-record ato ang mga results, then report na to atong results. Ana ra. Also, SIP typically undertaken in school as a class or term project or in a science fair or exhibition. So, in the face-to-face classes, no, so we will be having our science fair or exhibition where kamo, no, i-post ninyo or i-showcase ninyo ang inyong research. Dayon rate din na nato then magkuan ta mag-select din ta og kuan. I think you have already observed that during your grade 7 sa face-to-face pang time. But today, in the pandemic, so we will still push through, in making your SIP. We must be able to make your SIP in grade 9, and then you must undergo experimentation on your grade 10 para mo-appeal ta sa kanay National Science Fair next year, no? Dili ta dapat mamahimong zero. So, it is meant to get school children interested and inquisitive about science. Marigyo na ang main goal nato, no? To make you interested about science. Kaya ang science, no, daghan nindot kay ang science. Daghan kay kag ma-learn, daghan kay kag kanang pwede mga mabuhat nimo sa science. So, para pod isa pod ani is that para pod inig abot nyo college dili na mo maglisod sa research, no, kana sa formal nga thesis na gyud no sa undergraduate studies. Kay kung i-compare naman level of formality, no, sa thesis na gyud sa SIP, murag mas formal gyud ang thesis, no. So ato nang i-discuss ron to sum up the scientific method, no, it is the mystified in this um, in this figure, no, observation, then question. Una mag-observe mo nga kanang mga basic lang nga problems sa inyong panimalay, no, simple ra nga problems, ayaw po ng funny kay nga mga problems, no, serious ta dere. Dayon you will make a question out of it. Dayon you will have some research unsa may possible na to nga mabuhat ana nga problem, no. And then you will create your hypothesis. Then you will you will undergo experiment. Then you will gather data. Then you will then conclude. Mao man na siya ang kanang basic lang nga sa scientific method, which is still usable diri sa SIP. So example sa kanang kuan researches kaniyo, substitute indelible ink using Bixa Aureliana L, no, or Anato and Corcus sativus kasubha extracts. No? So imagine these kids, no, at your age, they were able to think nga maka-create sila og substitute nga indelible ink, no? Kung imong paliton ang indelible ink sa market is mahal kayo. But we have these plants, no, kaning anato og kasubha in our country. So why not make use of it, no? Nana siguro ang panghuna-huna sa mga sa aning mga estudyante ha, no? That was the Science Fair 2014. Then napo isa, no? Design of an early warning flood level indicator, no? Muni sila mga estudyante ha, maybe ang problem sa ilahang locality kay kanang kuan nang magbaha sila ha. So they kuan they created this system, no? Flood level indicator nga para kung magkinaunsa, na flood, so they will be warned and then maka-act din sila diretso. So naragod simple ra kay mga problems but they created an ingenious nga solution. So I hope kamo pod, no, when you create your topic by in our lesson number 2. So to undergo the steps of scientific method, SIP will help students attain the following kaning objectives. Number 1, to foster innate curiosity of the students. Dapat curious mo as always kay STEM students mo. To inculcate the science and core skills, no? Sumutong mga skills, sound decision making and critical mindedness, analytical observation of the environment, no? Drawing inferences. Then you must be able to design and conduct simple scientific investigation. Simple ragot, like kanang ngita ba mo mga substitute, mag-create ba mo something og system, or mag-create ba mo something og innovation just to answer simple life problems, to communicate results of scientific investigations effectively. So diri ta sa communicate results of scientific investigations. So you will have your defense man put, no, in your final paper, just like your seniors did katong previous years ba yun, no? Naamoy ka ng defense ana, magka-formal mo, then i-present ninyo ang inyong kuan, inyong output, just like kanang sa mahitabo sa National Science Fair para po ma-train mo or maka-experience mo. So, unsay kalahian sa scientific research kanang formal gyud, no, nga studies. So research is defined as the creation of new knowledge and or the use of existing knowledge in a new and creative way so as to generate new concepts, methodologies, and understandings. So, research is just like mura ra kanang na existing idea, no, you make use, no, in a new and creative way those two ideas but to come up a new idea, no, or you can also come up with a new one. Pwede ka mag-formulate og imuha or i-disprove nimo ang idea or i-prove nimo ang idea. So that is research. This could include synthesis and analysis of previous research to the extent that it leads to new and creative outcomes. So dari ra gyud ta magdaog, no, sa creativity. I hope ma-enhance niyo ang creativity in this lesson. So, what are the research processes? So, ato na i-zoom in. Identifying the problem, no, we will have reviewing literature, setting research questions and objectives and hypotheses, choosing the study design, deciding on the sample design, collecting data, processing and analyzing data, then writing the report. So mura ra gyud siya og scientific katong sa tubitaw ako na discuss ini sa SIP, no, pareho-pareho ra gyud na sila. And ang product sa kuan sa science research is kani nga journal, no? International Research Journal of Applied Sciences. So diha kung kaapil mo ka ng mga conferences, no, research conferences, you will see or you will be able to read those formal researches nga na-conduct sa mga scientists. So, what is the difference between science investigatory project and scientific research? So, mo ni ilahang differences. In terms of steps being followed, no, ang science research is nakafollow siya sa research process, whereas ang SIP, no, simple ra kayo. Formulation of the problem, experimentation and data gathering, then presentation of results, ana ra. Then ang sources of the problem, no, identification of knowledge gap, ang sa kuan research scientific science research, whereas ang SIP is curiosity ra gyud, no, folk stories, mga experiences, mga literature, nana ra ka simple ang SIP. So dili kay mo dapat mahadlok kay simple ra ang trabaho. Types of studies, sa kuan sa science research natay daghan kay nga types of studies, no, descriptive, experimental, or developmental, all about technology. But sa IP, mostly sa to is experimental. Pwede man ta mag-developmental, but depende na siya sa ato sa inyo topic. Kay we have a limited time diri sa ato research. So contents of proposal, so naa siya introduction, no, na ay review of RRL, materials and methods, then literature cited, na whereas is IP, background of the study, hypothesis, objectives, significance, materials, and methods, ana ra, no? Simple ra ato dayon ang ato ang oops, dito siya ma-zoom in dahil sige lang. Dayon ato proposal defense, no, kung mag-proposal na kay ka na proposal of topics sa science research na sis IP is wala. Need for review of literature na needed siya sa science research, sis IP is pwede na wala, no. Considerations of research design, magdepende sa science problem. Sis IP, setup should have at least 2 levels of independent variables and 3 replicates. So mara gyud na ang SIP, no? 2 levels of independent variables and 3 replicates. So nakay 6. So next, basis for methods na sa science research dapat standard ang iyang procedures supported by research articles, no? Whereas sa SIP, student designed experiments are accepted, no. Kung kamo naamoy ka ng inyong kining experiment design, no, as long as kanang reliable siya, as long as accurate siya, so it is accepted. Presentation of and analysis of results, no, na sila kanang textual, graphical, tabular, statistical analysis. There is a SIP, you will just have your textual, no, graphical, din naalamoy ka ng tabular na mga data, no, itabulate rin ninyo, then interpret rin ninyo, no. So in terms of writing paper sa science research is amoy ka ng dapat jud ma-observe jud ang technical writing. There is SIP, manuscript can be conversational, no, but as the culture sa atong school gianad man da mo og kanang technical writing, so we will include technical writing sa atong SIP. Then presentation of project na sila ka na paper defense, na sa mga competition, mga forum, mga exhibits, mga conferences. Whereas ang SIP, school fair lang dayon project defense kana on-site or kanang person dinagko na national science fair. So attitude skills develop, so daghan na ma-develop, whereas sa SIP, learning of scientific method just like patience, mga perseverance, intellectual honesty, curiosity, and open-mindedness ang atong ma-develop over time. So for your first activity, no, it was entitled Perks of Being a Scientist, and its deadline will be on October 8, 2021. So asa na to na siya i-submit. So para nako, I always prefer soft copies because if printed man god, kapuyan kaayo ko maghipos yung so bulky then maragapon masunog gyapon, so sayang kay ang papel, no. So ato lang i-measure atong learning, but in a more efficient way by using the electronic devices. So I believe nga naamoy ka ng mga devices sa inyong house, no? Laptop or phones in order to research for that. So you can write man pod sa papel ana dayon scan ninyo inyong picturean sa cellphone dayon imo nyo into PDF i-send ninyo sa kuha or pwede po din yung i-encode, no? There's no need for us to print, no, in order to submit kay kalas kay paper, dapat paperless ta kung mahimo, no? So based on the gamification na to nga kanang approach, you will have the speed as 10 points for before mo makabot og deadline October 8, no? Kung malapas mo October 8, mag-minus ko og tag 5 points per day. Dayon ang intelligence nga points, no, namoy 20 points. Dayon sa armor points is just 30 points. So ang experience din niyo makuha, ang XP niyo makuha ana is the average of the 3. Mo na din nato ang basihan sa yung score ani nga activity. So mas taas mo og XP, no, the more the better siya, no, nga class. So mo na nga make your output kanang nice, make your output kanang high end iyahang quality. So general format nato dapat ang ato ang paper size is kaning legal, no? Atong size is font size is 12, then style is real narrow. No spacing ito ang style, dayon 2.0 line spacing. So asa man na siya makita, no? So ato diri ta sa page layout atong size must be legal, no? Then atong margin must be narrow. Ang ato ang styles must be normal. Dayon ang ato ang spacing, line spacing is 2.0, no? Dayon atong font style is Arial narrow. Dayon ang size must be 12. Ana ra. Dayon ang ato ang file format dapat PDF ha inyong i-send sa kuha. Don't send me Word kay mabungkag man gud na gud nag-upload, no? So dapat PDF na file. Dayon ang file name is section ninyo. Example, kanang Nara Research 9, dayon family name Mangkaw Pini Junior, no, para ma-organize ta. So if you have some questions about this one, no, so just PM me or mangutana mo dito sa ato ang GC para mag-guided mo. So activity A, explore the internet about the science investigatory project, no, or topics nga nag-suit sa imong interest. Kung interested ka sa robotics, then search for robotics. Then kung interested ka for kanang alternative medicines or alternative mga chemicals, go for it. Kung kuan ka kanang something innovation or kanang creation imuhang interest, then go for a topic that goes like that, no? Then among of all you've searched, no, mag-choose lang ka og 3 na best for you, the one that inspires you to pursue research. Then you must rank them from 1 to 3, having number 1 as the highest. Take note of, dapat makita na ko dito ha. Dapat, example, na topic ana. So hubos ana niya na yang source, ahan niyo siya nakitaan. Then what school ang nagkandak ng SIP. Then what year was the SIP made. Then maghimo din mo ka ng short background about their work. For example, they created a early flood warning system which greatly ana, ha? So na atong sampulan ha. Example, na dari ang katong ang topic. Then ang what school kay MBTS Kintahay, then year 2021. Then ang background din ang sa ubos na din ana niya, no? So ana ra kasimple lang ato nga work. So mo ni ang rubric for your for rating your work, no? Na dari ang uniqueness of choice kanang wala mo gabalik-balik inyong choice, pero I think murag dili kay ko kanang stricto ani kay namo gyud mo magkaparehas gyud mo og kanang choice, pero mas may nang the same mo og choice, no, kay para dali ra ta mo i-grouping dayon ang inyong conciseness of idea, no, dili kay wordy, no, inyo kay organized logical ang iyang organization, no, pag state niyo sa background dito is kanang ina follows a logical sequence, no, the kuan their problem is this, they made this hypothesis, dayon nag after nahimo nila hypothesis gahimo dayon sila og experimentation, dayon ga-present na dayon sila and result is money na dapat ha. Then inyong content, all information must be accurate, no, wala mo nag-copy paste did na sa kanang kuan sa internet because i-undergo na to nag-plagiarism test ninyong work, no, just in case nag-copy paste mo and we don't like that copy paste method ninyong mga students. Then obedience to instruction, no, when you follow the format that I've said, so na may 5 points na automatically, and then you submit on time, so na mo additional points na nga 5 points, then napagid mo ka ng sa speed pag yun yung chakra points, no. So if the same og choice, be sure kani ato na ilisan, if the same og choice sa imong classmate, it is better for groupings na siya class, no. So mas maayo na nga same mo og kana choice kay para ni groupings jud na ko bitaw dali ra kay ta. So question po di ay since we are unya na lang ako na to bago, no, padayon sa tadari. Activity number 2. So are you ready to be a scientist? So this will be 30 armor chakra points. So what you will do, you will create a reflection or essay on the topic perks of being a scientist. So before writing, please take a look on the rubric for grading the activity. Kung itong rubric, no, natay content, natay grammar, presentation, organization, timeliness, accurateness, idea, uniqueness, and obedience to instructions. Then atong limit is at least 300 words and at most 500 words. So daghan na kay mo masulat ana, no? And I promise that I will read that basta kay mag-submit lang mo on time. I don't like late. So isulat na ninyo ana.